The word yet, and I'm already getting applause. It's a good feeling. We've heard this a couple times, but I have to say it too. Good afternoon, school board members, administrators, teachers, school faculty, parents, families, the exalted Principal Kelly, the Honorable Mr. Resnick, the lovely Superintendent Bilbao, and of course, our graduates. Now, before I begin, I'd just like to say that I think I can speak for both Brian, our last speaker, and myself. When I say we put a lot of work into our speeches, and Brian's a little bit more of an intellectual, so he kind of probably just brains runs right through it. But I took a different, more sporadic approach. I discussed a few quotes with Ms. Spatz, and Ms. Moore gave me some ideas too, along with a few intellectual lectures on our future. But most of all, I really wanted to make everyone happy with my speech. So I did some research. I took a look at Obama and McCain and Clinton, and I overheard some talk on lunch tables. And I'd just like to say that once I am done here today and in office, I will eliminate the income tax, add Friday to the weekend, and abolish all speed limits. So, that's great, because now that I got your votes, as for a speech, I had plenty of ideas, but after a while, I realized I was going nowhere fast. In fact, it took basically one day. I was just sitting in math class, playing cards with a few friends, and Mrs. Freiberger happened to walk into the room. And I caught a good whiff of Mrs. Freiberger's perfume, and that was just a familiar scent because I'd had her for 1 year and been passing her our hallways for 3. And I thought about it because it really hit me. I realized, wow, I may never smell Mrs. Freiberger's perfume again. Now, naturally, this worried me. For 4 years, Mrs. Freiberger's signature scent had been a constant in my life. And I'd really thought about post-high school life before, but never really in that way. And it got me thinking really seriously about the future. Because no more will I find myself listening to Kyle Eichen compliment me on my latest column in the gym locker room. Or Mario Ariema bragging about how awesome he is and everything. And no more will I hear Mr. McKenzie complain to Matt Santanastasso, or Bub as he calls him, about those stupid shoes he always wears, the black shoes. And he won't be calling Courtney Brock and Kristen Smith elegant in only the way he can. And no more will Rachel Grant complain to the silent Mr. Antonucci and Cecily. I won't be awarding Mr. Brennan giant checks or playing the Imperial March as he walks in the room. And I won't be spending $30 on Jell-O and chips and ice for physics pranks. Which, by the way, you guys still owe me $20. And very sadly, I won't be buying roses and writing love letters for a bunch of girls in my psych class. Or perhaps, best of all, Mrs. Ford won't give me another C on the 15-page paper ever again. But it doesn't end at school, because in a few months I'm not going to have my mom yell at me for hitting my snooze button 5 times before getting up. And I'm not going to listen to Bill Evans and Oscar Peterson with my dad and figure out riffs on the piano, or hear his ridiculous stories about how his childhood was so much harder than mine was. I'm not going to beat my brother at Rock Band anymore and do stupid stuff with him. I'm not going to be buying ice cream with my sister from the ice cream man, or tormenting my cat as a hobby. And only now, as I was writing the speech, that I realized I was truly blessed with a pleasant high school career, and I hope everyone else was. Because we not only learned math and science and history in those halls, but we also grew together as a class. We found ourselves. We started to make decisions about who we're going to be. We have our idiosyncrasies and our flaws, but more important is that we're a related group of special, unique, and gifted individuals, every one of whom has the power and capacity to do whatever he or she sets his mind to. Proof of that lies in the fact that we're all here today. It's moments like this in which I realize how much has been done for me by our past generations, our parents and grandparents, to make my life a little better than theirs. And that makes me very nervous to think about that, because theirs is a really tough act to follow. But guys, I think we can do it. I think we can make the world a better place. And I have to say, it puts me at ease at night to think that if I somehow grow up to be the principal of a really great suburban high school, and I'm out raking my leaves one day and somebody rolls over my car, they roll over my foot with their car, that Dr. Michael Wong will be around to treat me. After I propose to Lindsay Kligman and become the depressed, emotional wreck when she denies me, psychologist Casey Tintle will be around to take a couple $100 an hour and listen to my problems. I'll turn on the TV to see Sean McGeever and Dane Couch as Olympic runners, and I'll never go off playing soccer. Jake Ehrlich and Pete Cloudy will be on the radio every morning as I drive to work, and Canada Grant will be writing award-winning novels. Doug Barkley will be doing stand-up somewhere. I think it's important to know that what we're celebrating here today is not 4 years of English and history, phys ed, math, language, art electives, business electives, and a clean record with respect to locks and books. We're celebrating a successful future. We have all the tools in our brains to make it happen, and if we play our cards right, we're going to make it happen. So thanks very much to the teachers, parents, staff, and administration for giving us those tools, because we truly stand on the shoulders of giants. And thanks to all of you for the opportunity to speak. Congratulations, Class of 2008.